Okay, we are live. Welcome everybody to the first GlobalElevation.TV Hangout, Google Hangout. We've got an incredible group here. They're broadcasting directly from Byron Bay in Australia, and they're going to be talking about the Uplift Festival. We're here to help them utilize Google Hangouts. It's a really cool technology that people are starting to get to use, and obviously it's allowing people to connect from all around the world. And I've got my mother Cecily on the Hangout as well. She'll be interviewing our guest this evening and learning all about the talent that is at this Uplift Festival and all the things that are happening. And we certainly hope to have more of these Hangouts in the future and get to talk to some of the other speakers. But tonight, we have probably one of the most special guests. So I'm going to hand it over to Prajna Kapadia, who's the social media manager for the Uplift Festival. And she's going to tell us a little bit about the guest that we have for this evening. So thanks a lot. And Prajna, take it away.
Okay. Here we have two of the founders of the Earth Guardians. We have Kulik over here, and Xiuhtezcatl Martinez. He's the youngest member of Obama's Youth Council, and the youth director of the Earth Guardians. And she is also. What are you doing, Ashley? Tell us about yourself.
I am working with Earth Guardians, and I am also working on a new project that Earth Guardians is launching here at Uplift Festival called Gaia, and it is the Global Alliance of Youth in Action.
Yeah. Two of the youngest game changers in the game. So, yeah, they're amazing. Tell us about what happened in Boulder. Tell us about the anti-fracking thing that you guys want.
Yeah. So pretty much Earth Guardians is a group of young people that come together from all over the world and work on issues that are directly affecting our future, our community, and the health of the young people in our community. So the Boulder Earth Guardians, one thing that we're really working on stopping in our community is fracking, hydraulic fracturing. And it's a process in which they take millions of gallons of water and they shoot it into the ground at high pressures to extract the natural gas, but it's polluting a lot of water wells and it's making a lot of kids sick. So we just had the local elections there, and what ended up happening is all these cities, Boulder, Lafayette, Longmont, Broomfield, we got all these 5-year moratoriums for a temporary ban on fracking in these cities, and so there's a huge ban for everything that we've been doing. And actually in Broomfield, they were going, I'm pretty sure, for a 5-year moratorium as well. We won by 17 votes. And so then this whole, that was incredible, because Broomfield is kind of like a, I don't know, what would you say, like a more, I don't know, it's like a city that's kind of reflects what the rest of the state will do, and kind of will be a model for other cities around Colorado. And so it was just really cool to see that happen there. And so what actually ended up happening is that it's just like all this like crazy stuff going on. So then now the natural gas industry is going in there and they're charging the people that were counting the votes with like all these like crazy things. And they said that they added the last 17 votes just so we could win, and just all this like crazy like conspiracy stuff. Because of course, I mean, when the natural gas industry isn't making money, you know, they get angry. And so yeah, it's been really interesting, you know, being a part of this movement, because, you know, when we came here to Australia, we also saw that fracking was a really big issue that they were dealing with here, and just talking about how it's more of a global problem as well, and this industrialization is really affecting a lot of lives, a lot of local people, and so that's just what happened recently with fracking, and we're still fighting the fight.
It's really great. I'd love to ask you some more questions, Xiuhtezcatl. You are a 13-year-old indigenous environmental activist. I just love this concept of your age and the job you've taken on and what you've done with fracking in Colorado. It is extraordinary. And I'd like to know, have you tell people a little bit more about how this happened. I heard that you were 6 years old, you did your first speech, and you've been doing this for a while. So will you tell a little bit more about what is your background and about your mom and dad, and how you started getting really involved in being this environmental activist?
Yeah, so I don't know. I think I've kind of always been an environmental activist, even when I was a really little kid, like 3 and 4 years old. My older sister, Issa Roski, she headed up the second generation of Earth Guardians in Boulder, and they did all sorts of stuff with Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And they did this huge film, this like huge photography shot. And they raised money to get him out here, and it's just like really cool because I was always in and out of the meetings. They did campaigns against to end hunger, against plastic bags in the local communities. And so I kind of grew up in that environment, and my mom started the first generation of Earth Guardians. And on my father's side, he raised me in the Aztec tradition. So I think out of that, I just got a really deep connection with the earth. And since I was a little kid, I've always had a connection to nature, to the water, and to the forest and the mountains of Colorado. And so once I started getting more interested in activism and the environment and ecosystems, and realizing how humans were having an impact on that, and how we're destroying our life support systems, I realized that not much is going to be left for the next generation unless we take action now. And so since then, I've been fighting climate change, GMOs, all these huge crises that are affecting our future. And it's definitely been really, really interesting, just like spending a lot of my life doing this and traveling around the world and trying to educate and inspire kids. And that's kind of how I got started when I was 6, was when I did my first public speaking engagement, and then onward after that.
No, it's great to watch your video and to listen to you speak. Your amazing maturity and ability to communicate to people and get them excited and help them move into action, which is really important. Can you talk more about the climate change and the lawsuit that you went to Washington, D.C. and worked with senators on?
Yeah, so one thing that's been really interesting is just in the last 7 years of my activism, climate change has, well, back then we called it global warming, because that was kind of the main thing. It was getting kind of hot in some places, and the Arctic was melting a little bit, and sea levels were rising. It wasn't really affiliated with some of these huge natural disasters that are starting to happen all over the world. The storms and the typhoon that just hit the Philippines, just all this crazy stuff that's happening all over the world. My hometown in Boulder, Colorado, we went from about 65 degrees out in like the beginning of winter when it's supposed to be 30, and now just today they got 3 feet of snow. So it's definitely climate extremes, and things are going to start changing a lot all over the world, no matter where you are. And it's because of the way that we are destroying and disrespecting the earth, and we're not even making an effort to cut back on the carbon that we're releasing. And so, well, because of that, myself and a group called Atmospheric Trust Litigation, and the public trust community doctrine people. So what we did is we took this ancient doctrine that goes back to Roman times, and it says that the atmosphere and the air and the water and the resources are to be protected for the next generation, for generations to come, and not to be hoarded by one entity or one government or corporation. So we saw the atmosphere as a really, really important resource that belongs to everyone, and yet it affects everyone. So we sued the state of Colorado. No, I sued the state of Colorado, and we also sued. We had plaintiffs in all 50 states who sued their state governments, and also we did a federal lawsuit suing the United States government for not protecting our atmosphere as part of this ancient doctrine. And so it's been really interesting because we took this lawsuit to Washington, D.C., myself and a group of about like 4 or 5 of you, and we lobbied congressmen, and we were there in the meeting, and we saw it all happen. And the judge had it denied because he said that this was something that was up to the states. It was part of the state constitution, but not the federal constitution, to make legal decisions based off of this doctrine. And so what actually happened is it got moved to a higher level of court, the Court of Appeals. And so that's kind of where the federal case is going. The cases in the 50 states, we've won in Texas, Montana, and it's looking like we're going to win in New Mexico as well. And so what happens is what we're asking for is a 6% carbon reduction every year. So that's huge. I mean, if the United States, one of the biggest corporate countries in the whole world, we take up an incredibly small amount of the world's population, but about roughly, last I checked, 20% of the world's resources, and it's just ridiculous that we're using that much. And so the message that would send to countries all over the world, it's just really remarkable, actually. So we got a 6% carbon reduction annually in mass reforestation, and that's kind of where we're going right now. And we're really hoping. It's funny because kids at my school hear about it too, and like newspaper and stuff, and they read about it, and they're like, "Whoa, why are you suing the state government? And why are you suing the president and stuff?" And it's really interesting how people respond to it. People get really excited when a 13-year-old kid is suing their state.
Well, and you're fighting for the future of all children. I mean, it's that you're standing up as a 13-year-old to speak for all of your generation, really, for the future, and helping people to be aware of it. So it's such an important lawsuit, and you should be very proud that you've been able to take it that far. Will you talk a little bit more about what's happening in Colorado with and what really motivated you to get upset about this issue?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you repeat the question? You were cutting out at the beginning.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I wanted you to talk a little bit about trees and what's happening in Colorado with the trees and how that inspired you to really want to do this class action lawsuit and really work to save the future.
Yeah. So since I was a really little kid, I've always gone into the forests and been a part of nature and just the world around me, and really just like embrace that. I've always felt like I had a connection to the earth. And when I saw the destruction that was happening because of climate change, warmer temperatures, less snow, we're having droughts in the summers now, and just like all these crazy extremes, it's also affecting the forests a lot. Every year we've had like more intense wildfires, and it's just something that's just really escalating in Colorado. It's destroying a lot of trees because of pine beetle kill also. Since we're having warmer temperatures, pine beetles are being able to go up to higher elevations. They're killing off about twice as more trees because they have 2 lifespans now, and they lay eggs twice, and so the population is just going out of control. They're destroying all the trees. So we actually have we've lost 70% of our lodgepole pine trees due to pine beetle kill and forest fires. And I go up to the mountains all the time, and so when I see these places that I've fell in love with as a kid, and I see the destruction that's happening there. Just driving through Colorado. That's such an important part. I believe that the nature and the wildlife is a huge way that people come here to escape the city and to just be a part of the greater world. And when that's being destroyed, when that's being taken from us, and especially the young children, because I want to make sure that what I've been able to experience as a kid can be passed on to the next generations. Possibly someday, when I have kids, that they can experience the same things that I have. And have as good a world and better of a life than I have had, and just really protecting that for the next generation, and just seeing that these forests that I fall in love with as a kid are being destroyed at ridiculous rates. It just really pushes me into action and keeps me going. It reminds me why I'm doing what I do, why I missed 80 days of school last year, and why I'm traveling all over the world. And just crazy stuff a kid shouldn't have to do, shouldn't have to worry about.
Well, it's wonderful that you're doing this because it is coming from your heart, that you really love the trees and the nature and what it means to you personally, but to the future generations, and wanting it to be there in the future too. So congratulations, that's really beautiful. I'd like you to talk a little bit more about your rap band, your Voices of Youth, and your singing career. You're pretty talented. You're a musician and a writer of music and a singer. So talk a little bit more about what you're doing there.
Yeah, so a really huge thing that Earth Guardians is working on is we do local demonstrations and actions, and we work on solving all these problems. But and also a huge thing is education. So we go into school systems and church groups and all these other young people, preferably like middle school and high school aged, college as well, and we want to educate them about this crisis, about the problem that we're being left with, because what we're learning in our school system is not preparing us for the world that is to come, and it's definitely something that they're not getting out of the regular school system, out of the public school system, and so we're trying to bring that. And one thing that we found is that young people these days are really into music, especially hip hop, but there's not a good message around that. Right, Ashley? And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to combine something that will interest them, that they'll get excited about. They can stand up and dance and clap to the beat, and also make it educational. Make it, they're learning something, they're taking something away, they're being inspired, they're being empowered, and that's something that's not really been presented too much before. And so when it's something unique like that adults and kids can relate to, it's really cool. It's really fun. I mean, I really enjoy doing it. And so we write hip-hop rap songs with positive messages to inspire and educate young people and adults all over the world. And even if, like, I went to Brazil for the Rio Plus 20 UN Summit, and everyone there spoke Portuguese. And we performed a song called Young and Positive, and it was like, I'd say, like 3,000 young people were in the audience, and it was like incredible. They didn't speak English, but they got the message that, I'm young and I'm positive, and they're all following along with us. And just the energy that is built around music, just the way that it speaks to people's hearts is really unique. Kids, especially young people, are going to want to listen to that more so than scientists come and lecture them about the science of climate change. And it's just a cool way to have fun with it and really inspire people.
It's very inspiring, and love your lyrics, and you and your brother are part of the band, and it's just wonderful to watch watching videos of the two of you, and it is catching on. Definitely you get people moving with your music, so congratulations with that. It's a terrific vehicle to get people into action, as you said. So, well, I'd like to just have you talk a little bit about Uplift now, because that's the whole idea here. We're getting people to be aware of what is happening there in Byron Bay in Australia. So you got to travel all this way to this amazing festival. Tell us about what does it mean to you, and what's important for you to be able to communicate while you're there.
Yeah, so I was at last year's Uplift Festival too, which was just totally an incredible, mind-blowing experience. That just the connections that I made and the people that I met here, it's like my soul family, my second family. And just being on the land, like, you guys should see where this is, like, ridiculous. And it's like the Shire from the Hobbit movie. And it's such an incredible place where you can feel the love in the air. Like, you can, I don't know, just the energy is so good, and when you drive into here, you feel relaxed and at rest. And because I think that coming here to this festival, you really do see the good things that are happening in the world, because all that is being presented on the news and in the media and everything that we're hearing about is the negative stuff, the crisis, the problem, climate change, our environmental crisis. Kids are dying in Africa of hunger. And, people don't have safe drinking water in India, and the typhoon that just hit the Philippines. And all this is it's overwhelming, especially for kids. We're gonna be left with this world, and we have to deal with all these problems. It's like it's easier to not even know. So I think coming here, just the way that you can talk to people and just understand them, and just the feeling that there is hope.
It's the focus on the positive. Yeah.
Yeah. And that I take away so much of that, the hope, and it keeps me going. Just meeting all these incredible people, and just when we have all these amazing, inspirational spiritual leaders, but they're all older people. I'm totally not to offend at all, but I'm just saying that there wasn't a lot of young people that were presenting, and so I think that intergenerational dialogue that happens is really incredible, because people talk about our generation being the future. We're going to inherit the planet, but we're really the present. We're here now. We got to start doing stuff now. We can't wait till later on to start dealing with this mess, and we have to connect with every generation. Just because we're the ones going to inherit the planet doesn't mean it's all on our shoulders to make a difference. And I think that's just an incredible example of how young people's voices can be presented, can be used in really such an incredible way. It's interacting with people from all over the world, really. I mean, I've met so many incredible leaders here and lifelong friends, and it's definitely changed my life coming to Uplift. And I'm really, really excited for everyone that's going to be here, and I hope that we have a really good turnout, which I know we will.
I know you will, and you representing youth and making that intergenerational piece really adds a whole dimension to Uplift that you don't find very many places. So yeah, usually it's just the old people, and it's really great that you've got a real combination, and that you've come back for the second time, and it's really an incredible part of what you've been doing to bring your message. And so I'd like to just sort of wrap it up and say, what is it that you would like people to know, take away? Is there, what's the final words you would like to leave people with from this interview?
If I had $1 for every time I was asked this question, I would be filthy rich. Because depending on what I'm doing, if you had one message for the president or for the youth of Colorado or for the Earth Guardians all around the world, and it really changes every time because there's so much that needs to be accomplished. And I think that with this festival is being presented a solution. The idea that we are not separate, that we are all connected, that we are all one. That is just not. That we're not talking about, that we're not learning. And definitely just that connection between people, that interaction that we face here is something that is really changing the way that people view this movement that is happening. And it's on the rise. A lot of young people these days that I've seen, that I know, don't have hope. There's just such a huge issue that we're dealing with. It's hard to focus on the positive when there's so much bad stuff going on. But you have to find a way to fight that. You have to fight the depression and the anger and the sadness that beats you down every time. And you just got to get back up, because this is a global crisis that threatens the survival of humanity. But if we created it, then there's no doubt in my mind that we can stop it. So that's my message.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank you so much. I've really enjoyed having this conversation with you, and I've learned so much from you, just in your perspective and your energy and your enthusiasm. So thank you so much for being here with us tonight and sharing who you are and what you do for the planet. So this is great. I'm going to give it back to Justin then, and we'll wrap this up.
Thank you so much.
Okay, guys. So, if you got a little bit more time, Prajna, if you want to add anything else about, the festival, or Ashley, if you have some things to say, feel free.
Ashley mentioned the action forum.
Yeah. So at Uplift Festival, it's been, as Xiuhtezcatl said, like the community coming together. That would be my word to describe what I've felt so far at Uplift, is just community and communion with each other, and really with the land that we've been so blessed to be on, and here in Australia. And I'm so excited to connect with all of the people who are coming here. And as Earth Guardians, we found that we inspire a lot of young people, and we're often asked, how can we get involved? How can we help? How can we take action if we're not in Boulder, Colorado, where you guys are? How do we start our own groups? And at Uplift, it's really exciting because we're going to be launching a project that can really set youth into action, and through technology, we can kind of lead them to an online platform where young people can come and they can learn about what's going on in their community. They can identify issues that are going on because they have so much passion and energy, and they don't sometimes know where to put that into. And so we're kind of creating a creative space where we can share our songs, we can share all of the things that we're passionate about and wanting to help heal this planet, and kind of create projects in their communities, and really helping them through that process of learning how to do this themselves. And they'll be able to find other projects that are going on in their community, and they can kind of see the broader ecosystem of what's going on in the world. Of what other projects are out there, what other groups are there, like Earth Guardians, what other young people are taking action, what other organizations can we get involved, and how can we help, and how can we all really collaborate together to find the solutions that we've been looking for and that we know are out there. Because there's so many people who are doing awesome work. We just want to create a space where we can all come together and see what we're doing is we're not alone. and that our contribution is really making a difference in the larger, collective consciousness. And if we start putting our action into this collective mindset, then we can really start having much more impact. And so we're here to really get this message out to other young people that, hey, you can do it too. And, here's an awesome way to use technology like, you guys are doing, getting this message to such a wider audience. And technology is such a vehicle for change right now, especially in our generation where everyone is so plugged in. And, we just see that Facebook is just not, it's not creating the culture that we really see changing our world and changing, how we really relate to one another on the everyday level. So that's going to be launched at Uplift, and it's called Gaia, Global Alliance of Youth in Action. We're really excited about it.
Yeah. And I guess if there's one message that I guess Uplift really stands for, it's oneness in action. There are ways to implement the fact that we are all one, and they come in every single modality you can think of. And that's what everybody here is about. Every presenter here has a gift to share with the planet, not just with their contemporaries. Because we're all contemporaries. We all share this earth. There is no plan B. So that's, Uplift really represents, I guess, a collective consciousness, a oneness in action. The time is now. It's the age of transformation has come. And yeah, it comes through science, it comes through industry, it comes through, Earth Guardians, environmentalism. It comes through each one of us to find that place within yourself and live from there. That's what Uplift intends to inspire.
Well, excellent. I absolutely love this whole. You both have such strong messages, and I love the networking element and the social networking part of what you're talking about. You're always, both groups here, the Earth Guardians and the Uplift Festival, are really about bringing people together and connecting people. So we definitely hope with the Global Elevation TV, this is sort of a experiment, but we certainly hope that we can help you guys do more hangouts, and we can bring more people into the mix here. I wanted to tell you guys that, hangouts can have like 10 people, and one of the coolest things I've seen is that you can actually do music. If you get the internet connections fast enough, there's people who are actually, the drummer's in one country, the saxophonist is in another country, and you can really collaborate that way. So I'd love to see you guys be doing some more stuff like that, and we'd love to interview you more in the future. I'm sure there's going to be lots more Earth Guardians and, of course, lots more presenters and talent that comes to perform and speak at Uplift. So thank you so much for your time. I am going to, at the end here, I have the What the Frack all queued up, so we'll play that on the way out. But any other closing statements, or Mom, or anybody, just feel free here before we wrap it up.
Sign up to the Uplift Festival. Sign up to the Uplift Festival, www.upliftfestival.com or www.upliftconnect.com, and use Lightbeam as the code. You get a special discount. Totally worth watching.
Yeah.
You'll never see presentations the way you do here.
And so what are the dates again exactly, and then how long there's going to be an archive of this available?
Yeah,
so
December, the Uplift Festival is taking place December 12th through 15th, 2013, and purchase it with the discount code Lightbeam, and you will have the archive available to you for 60 days after.
Nice.
So for 2 months
fantastic.
after, you can go see anything that was shown on Uplift. We've got amazing presenters. There's these two who are phenomenal. Absolutely, Xiuhtezcatl. We've got Bruce Lipton, we've got Patch Adams, we've got Vandana Shiva, we've got Evan Alexander, we've got Anita Moorjani. We've got Guru Singh. The founders of Thrive, Kimberly and Foster Gamble, are going to be live streaming in. Barbara Marks Hubbard is going to be live streaming in. Dr. Mercola is in on this. Yeah, he's going to be live streaming. Kirk Nugent, spoken word poet, inspirational speaker. Yeah, you guys should check him out. Slam poet, he's amazing. Luca Lesson, who's a slam poet champion of Australia. And this is actually the only international venue thus far that is showing the film GMO OMG.
Nice.
It's actually kind of been relegated out of a lot of theaters because of the content. It's GMO exposure. But Uplift is a secure venue to show that. And the film is showing here on that Saturday night, and it will be available to our live streamers. So please tune in. The whole weekend is worth it. And for 60 days after, if you feel like you missed anything, you can catch it. So, yep.
All right. Well, we're excited, and we love being able to support you from the other side of the world and to encourage people from anywhere in the world to participate in the festival by being able to access the live stream. And if maybe you can get to Byron Bay still, you can still buy tickets at this point, right? But you can also plan for next year, right? It's definitely going to have another one there next year.
We're definitely having another Uplift event next year. As soon as we announce the time and the place, come. And, thank you so much to Share Awakening and Elevation TV, and your channel for all your support, all your love, and all you do to change the planet. I mean, really, all you do to inspire thousands of us.
Yeah,
hundreds of thousands of us.
Well, you guys are doing awesome. So we really look forward to working with you more in the future, and certainly getting to future Uplift Festival events, even if there's even more than just the one yearly. I'm sure this is going to keep growing.
The more people get tuned in, the more we get to have. So help us out, everyone, whoever is watching this. Sign up.
So, Mom, any other last words, and then we can play What the Frack.
Oh, no, I love this video. I think it would be great. It's a great way to end, Justin, and thank you so much. It was really a pleasure to do this with everyone today, and I just get so excited when I think you're all the way in Australia and we're here in Sedona, Arizona, so what an amazing process that we've been able to put together today, and so thank you everyone for doing this. Is great, and definitely tune into Uplift. We'll be there.
Bye. Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you guys. You're doing awesome. You're the best. You're changing the world in so many amazing ways. So here we are, everybody. So Jay-Z, Kanye, I know you guys are watching. So this is the future here. And just watch out, because this guy's coming.
Exactly.
Thank you very much. My name is Xiuhtezcatl. Welcome to this incredible opportunity to learn the future, your future, more particularly my future, about the truth behind oil and gas production. What you see behind me here is one of our flagship wells, where we have condensate tanks that hold produced water. This is not liquid industrial waste, as the public would have you believe. Another way that we can profit from this industry, kids, is that we can take this oil and gas.
What the frack are you talking about?
Excuse me,
This is
sir.
not healthy energy at all.
We're going to finish the conversation.
These are
here.
toxins coming out of these tanks. These are volatile organic compounds. This is not a clean future for these children.
It's clean burning oil.
There's nothing clean burning. There's nothing clean about fracking.
That's just not the case, and it's simply...
It is the case.
This is an agenda.
We say what the, you say frack, what the frack. What the frack? When we say what the, you say frack. What the frack? What the frack? Fracking rips apart the essence of our land, it's destroying the earth, and we gotta get it banned. Lily down to water with deadly compounds, are forced into the earth to get the gas they found. But it poisons the water and it poisons the air, poisons the people. Do you think that is fair? The government has corrupted the way that we think. Because of fracking, people can light up their sink. They're fracking and then cracking the earth. Is the fracking destruction really worth endangering the future of our awesome planet with all the children and the animals in it? Natural gas isn't the way to go, because if they keep on fracking, the earth is gonna blow. It's a dangerous bridge away from fossil fuels. If we want a future with renewables, the natural gas companies think money's all they need, or making children sick because of their greed. But what will happen when the rivers no longer flow, where the fields they used to prosper no longer grow? What will happen when they know that it's all their fault? Cause when you frack the earth, you're gonna frack us all. They say natural gas is better than coal, it's making more pollution and ain't a good solution. They're fracking and they're cracking the earth. Is the fracking destruction really worth endangering the future of our awesome planet with all the children and the animals in it? The natural gas isn't the way to go, because if they keep on fracking, the earth is gonna blow. It's a dangerous bridge away from fossil fuels if we want a future with renewables. When we say what the, you say frack. What the frack? What the frack? When we say what the, you say frack. What the frack? What the frack? When we say what the, you say frack. What the frack? 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 That's near Megastorm came through our town. It became a huge problem with all the fracking was around. Overflow the rivers and flood the plains, tipping fracking tanks and spreading chemicals to the rain. Carcinogenic toxins and endocrine disruptors are flowing downstream and are poisoning our waters. Say fracking exists only in fairy tale dreams, methane causing all sorts of new climate extremes. This form of extraction overruns our system like a virus, brainwashed by fracking loophole. We are battling a crisis. The last hope that we've got, our last chance to fight, is to rally the people. We must all unite. They're fracking and they're cracking the earth. Is the fracking destruction really worth endangering the future of our awesome planet with all the children and the animals in it? Natural gas isn't the way to go, because if they keep on fracking, the earth is gonna blow. It's a dangerous bridge away from fossil fuels. If we want a future, we need renewables. Fracking and climate change walk hand in hand. If we don't stop the snow, we'll destroy our land. Kids are getting sick wherever they frack. It's time to stand together and take our planet back. We need everyone to come unite and ban it, and together we can get the fracking off this planet. Watch out, gas companies, we're closing you down, cause we wanna get the fracking out of our towns. They're fracking and they're cracking the earth. Is the fracking destruction really worth endangering the future of our awesome planet with all the children and the animals in it? Natural gas isn't the way to go, because if they keep on fracking, the earth is gonna blow. It's a dangerous bridge away from fossil fuels. If we want a future, we need renewables. What the frack?